So up, y'all? This is Isba here, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of, what are you doing back here, blah blah blah, whatever. Blip is giving me an extremely hard time with uploading my longer videos. So, for the time being, I'm going to be back up here on YouTube. I'm gonna keep trying to upload my longer videos to my Blip account, but for now they're just not working, and I've had quite a few people email me and ask for my thoughts on the show, blah blah blah. So I thought I would give them what they've asked for. So, you know, when I left, if you're glad I was gone, if you didn't want to see me turn off the video, I don't give a shit, But I'm just here because people have been asking me, so I wanted to give my ratings of the matches, what I liked about the show, what I didn't like about the show for Bound for Glory. And, but before I get to that, two things. One, Nigel McGuinness has apparently signed with TNA instead of the WWE. I'm really shocked about this. Like, that was a swerve. That was a good swerve on his part if he planned that. But I don't know how it's gonna go. Hopefully he's used right. I know they just changed his name to I can't remember what, but they did just change it. So best of luck to him there, whatever he does. And TNA Turning Point just announced a big main event. Plus, they probably got another great match adding onto it too, but the main event will be Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the TNA World Title. I'm looking forward to that match. I don't think it'll be as good as 2005's or 2006's, but anyway, you put those three together, you're going to get a great match. So, and also Nigel McGuinness, apparently he did debut at the Impact taping tonight. And apparently he's starting into a feud with Kurt Angle, so maybe we'll see Nigel versus Kurt Angle, and that's definitely another match I want to see. So good luck to TNA with that stuff, just don't fuck it up. So anyway, TNA Bound for Glory happened last night. This is easily the worst Bound for Glory yet, in my opinion. There was some good stuff on it, but there was also some bad stuff. There was nothing match of the year candidate, in my opinion, and there was nothing really I'm going to come back to and look back on when I think of this show. So let's get right into it. This is definitely gonna be a quick one since I only have like 7.5 minutes to work with now, so bear with me here. Opening match was the Motor City Machine Guns replacing Pope D'Angelo because he had a family emergency, versus Homicide versus Suicide versus Amazing Red versus Christopher Daniels. This was a very hard match to rate. It was a spot fest, but the fans were very, I've seen a lot of people give this match like 4 stars, in between 4 and I've even seen some people go as far as like 4.5, 5 stars. I don't think it was that high since the whole formula for the match was spot, rest, spot, rest, spot, rest. And the selling, for the most part, wasn't very good. And as many people have mentioned, there were a lot of near-death stuff in this match, and that's definitely not a good thing. Especially the Daniels bump, which I was scared to death. I was literally freaked out about that bump when it happened, and this was a good match, but turned into a clusterfuck after watching it. And like all these injuries that happened in the match did take a little bit away from it, since like the less safe you are, the lower your match is gonna get. So I give this match about 3.5 stars. It was still a really good match, but not anything match of the year candidate or great. It was a spot fest that they should have been more careful on, in my opinion. So 3.5 stars. Next up was Sarita and Wilde versus the Beautiful People. This match was 2.5 minutes. Wasn't really much. Shouldn't have been on the show. Should have been on the pre-show. So a couple of the other matches could have gotten more time. Nothing really much more to say. A star. That's what it gets. Up next was Hernandez versus Kevin Nash versus Eric Young for the Legends title. Match was okay, better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a dud. I thought Hernandez was going to squash both of them and take the title. That didn't happen. Eric Young actually won, which I didn't think was a good move, because it did sort of make Hernandez look really weak, and if they're trying to build him up, they're doing a poor job. So, yeah, Eric Young won. Wasn't really much to it. I'd say about 1.5 stars. Up next was the for both tag team titles. It was Booker T and Scott Steiner versus Team 3D versus British Invasion versus Beer Money. This is a good match. Again, not anything match of the year candidate kind of thing, like a few people have said. And this was kind of like same old shit, TNA. Like this was, you know, there were a lot of table bumps, a lot of chair shot, unprotected chair shots, if I could throw that in there. It was like a bit of a mess of a brawl. Booker T, there have been rumors that he's headed back to the WWE. That looks pretty evident from what happened here. It was a good match, and I didn't like the ending though. I didn't like the fact that two teams won. Team 3D is now the IWGP Tag Team Champs, and British Invasion are now the TNA Tag Team Champs. So I don't know how they're going to work that, but it was a good match overall. A lot of, if you're a fan of hardcore wrestling kind of thing, then that's kind of a match for you. So I'd say about 3¼ stars would be my rating for it. Up next was ODB versus Awesome Kong versus Tara for the Knockouts title. It was a good match. Nothing really great, but it was a good match. Probably the best women's match TNA's done in a long while. That's not saying much, since the women's division in the past year pretty much has been not so good. It was really cool. I actually was really shocked when ODB won in the end. I could have bet everything that either Tara or Awesome Kong were going to win the belt, but they didn't. I think it was a well-paced match, very well-paced Divas match. They could have gotten a bit more time, but that's not anything to really gripe too much about. So, but it was okay. I'll give it 2.5. I'll give it 2.5 stars. More matches like this, more more women's matches like this, I think should happen. And I wouldn't mind a rematch with these three again, but they need more time though to really get anything 3 stars or higher. So, up next was Bobby Lashley versus Samoa Joe. This was a very good match. I really liked it. For 9 minutes, this is a very good match. To start off the show, they had a 15-minute time limit, and which I thought was really. I think that's the way that it should have gone. I thought this was a very intense match. I was really shocked at how short it was. It was only 9 minutes long, and I wouldn't mind it if it went for the full 15. Since these two have very good chemistry together, so very happy about that. But I didn't like the way that they sort of just fed Joe to Lashley and just made Joe look like a pussy or a stepping stone for Bobby Lashley. I don't like that whatsoever, especially when he's in the main event at their next pay-per-view. So whatever, it's TNA. I'll give the match. I'll give this 3.5. No, I won't go that high. Yeah, okay, actually I will. 3.5. It was a very good match. Very good match. Up next was the worst match of the night and a candidate for worst match of the year: Abyss versus Mick Foley. This was the prime example of garbage wrestling, no selling, overbooking, stupidity refereeing, especially when the ref counts to 4 one time, botched taser bunt. Like, this was Russo-rificness at its finest, and that's not a good thing. This was everything a hardcore match should not be. Like I said, there was no selling, there was nothing you had to see. Like, there was a lot of barbed wire and shit like that, but that's nothing if you have no story to go along with, and that's what this match had. No story, no anything, no reason for it to happen. One of the biggest letdown matches I've seen all year, to be completely honest with you, and one of the worst matches I've seen all year. This is a freaking dud. Period. Up next, we had the match of the night. It was Kurt Angle versus Matt Morgan. This was a great match. This was how you put someone over by losing. This was very well done. Easily Matt Morgan's best match to date. I know it's not saying much, but still. Kurt Angle, for the 2nd year in a row, has the best match at Bound for Glory. This was a very good match and very intense, very well fought. And Matt Morgan does have a bright future after seeing a match like this. So I'll give this 3 3/4 stars. Well done by both guys. This was match of the night. Great match. Main event: AJ Styles versus Sting. This is a good match. A bit too short. Not as good as the match they had last year at Turning Point. I would have liked it if it had a bit more time. But still, all in all, good stuff. The ending was sort of good. You know, AJ hit the Pele and then a splash. That was cool. So AJ wins. What I didn't like, though, was the promo afterwards, because it looks like Sting is not going to retire now. He's going to be back next year for another main event at Bound for Glory. Not good. They should have just given 5-10 more minutes to the match instead of having Sting talk for that amount, because that was pointless. But overall, the show gets a 7 out of 10 from me. So.